What's going on, guys? This is Kaishiro. Welcome back. So we are back with another video. On this video, we're going to cover the OCG Metagame Report and decklist reviews. So as usual, this is our Uncrowned Kings local Metagame Report video that will cover tournament results and decklist reviews for the past week. We have April 27 to April 30. So a short span of days, but a bunch of tournament results and including our new support from the new set of Infinite Forbidden. Some of the topping decklists here are supported and influenced by the new set, and some are not, so it depends on the discretion of the tournament organizers whether they would use the new set or not. So yeah, without further ado, let's start. Coming at first, we have YGO 24/7, the top 8 list of YGO 24/7 League Volume 1 Promethean Cup. So as we can see, we have a new support here from Info. So first we have Snake Eyes. So just the standard Snake Eyes list here. Played double talent on the main deck. Maybe he wants to answer more hand traps on the format. And also the chicken game. This is gaining traction recently on Japanese tournament results of Snake Eyes decks. It is used to boost the consistency of the deck and draw power. So yeah, I think it's the correct call because the deck have lost some key pieces. We have lost 2 Wanted and 1 Snake Eyes Ash. So it's not really strange to see chicken game incorporating here. And next we have Fire King with Snake Eyes and the inclusion of Volcanics on the main deck. It's been the trend of most Fire King decks here. It plays the new Volcanics on 2 copies most of the time. So yeah, I think it includes the new support from Info, the Multi-Chami, the new Maxi. They said this is a new Maxi but more balanced and more played more aspects into balancing the Maxi mechanic. And Multi-Chami is kinda tricky to say that it will become a staple already because most decklists doesn't even run this card, but some do play this card and it can be really good on some matchups like Flandries and Snake Eyes and other matchups that could definitely use this card. And yeah, I think the decklist is overall solid. Played triple change of heart, very interesting. It can really be good against Yubel. You can snatch out the Nightmare Gryphon, and yeah, can be strong as well on the mirror match of Snake Eyes Fire King. Next we have a new deck here on the block. We have Finsmith Snake Eyes. So yeah, with the Finsmith, the Snake Eyes got even more better, and I think it's the root of Snake Eyes moving forward. Most people would definitely incorporate the Finsmith and sometimes the Millennium Engine for the deck. And yeah, played also the Multi-Chami on the side deck. It's not surprise because yeah, it can be really strong on some matchups. And yeah, overall the decklist is kinda neat, no? Considering the fact that we only have 2 days of the new support from Finsmith, and I think it did a good job as well on the early decklist of the Snake Eyes Finsmith. Next we have Finsmith Yubel, or Finsmith Yubel with some Fiend shenanigan supports. So yeah, Yubel is very solid considering the fact that this is already a very good deck on the tier list of the metagame right now, and added with the Finsmith support, it got even more better. And yeah, I couldn't stress enough how powerful this deck is. Ends on multiple interruptions with the Blue Dog from Unchained, the Link 2, and also the Baldrat of the rank 10, and with the Spirit of Yubel, it is a very punishing board. So I think this deck will eventually get more even higher on that tier list moving forward. And yeah, this is a pretty solid list. And yeah, nothing too extravagant on the main deck. On the side deck, played Pancrataps, very strong against Floodgates. And yeah, Floodgates can definitely stagger this deck. And moving on, we have Tenpai with the new support of Genroku on the main deck. I really wonder why they don't play the Dora Draco. I forgot the name, the new card that supports Tenpai. But yeah, most of the lists here are only playing the Genroku on 1, 2, sometimes 3. That I think it's really up to the pilot whether they would extend the Tenpai names on their build or not. But I prefer 1 or 2 copies only. I think that's the correct ratio. And yeah, it played 43 card, no? Very extensive for a Tenpai deck. Most Tenpai decks are playing only 40 cards. And this time it played Raigeki on the main deck. Very interesting. Can be good on certain matchups. And once again, Multi-Chami on the side deck. I think most people are adapting to this card right now. And next we have Infernoid. Yeah, 60 card Infernoid with Sinful Spoil, Snake Eyes. So yeah, I think this Infernoid will definitely have a spot on the metagame right now, considering that this deck can be really snowbally. You literally don't have some leeway to let this deck go off, because when you let this deck steamroll you, I think there's no turning back. There's no way to stopping this deck in terms of snowballing out of control. And yeah, overall this deck is very solid when it can get things rolling for them. And on the side deck, played a bunch of going second cards, Forbidden Droplet, Super Poly, and Evenly Match. So he duly respects the going second prowess of his side deck. And next we have Yubel. Yeah, Yubel with, yeah, only Yubel, doesn't play Fiendsmith. But yeah, it's more of a Fiend Link deck than Yubel, and played the Unchained Trap as well. And on the side deck, played a bunch of going first support cards with Anti-Spell and Solemn Judgment. Very solid when going first. You stop a lot of cards that can blow out your board, and Judgment is very critical to stop a lot of cards on the format right now. And next we have Voiceless Voice. So it played Retaliating Sea, if I'm correct, on the side deck, if I'm not mistaken. So can be good on Snake Eyes matchups, Fire King matchups, and sometimes Yubel, I think. So yeah, very interesting choice of side deck here. And played 2 copies of Ghost Bell. Most people are not even playing Ghost Bell anymore right now. They are playing Ghost Ogre over Ghost Bell, but I can respect the Ghost Bell can be strong against the Voiceless Voice and other matchups like Unchained Yubel or Fiendsmith Unchained. So yeah, can be solid as well. And yeah, moving on, we have Arcanium Hobbies weekly tournament. We have first place, we have Fluandris. So Fluandris, the good old Fluandris, still kicking in, no? There's no time where we don't see Fluandris. It's a very adaptive deck on the format, very strong, that can definitely shut down Graveyard with the Shifter and Fissure. Very notorious cards for handling the Graveyard extremely well. And next we have Tenpai. So another Tenpai. I think this doesn't play the new support from Info. So yeah, played triple hit wave on the deck. Very solid as well. And I think this can be a very promising inclusion on the side deck. And yeah, I think play double Droplet and Lightning Storm. Moving on next, we have Salamangreat. So Salamangreat, this deck got topped on Japan YCS, the 10th anniversary of JYCS, and it gathered 8,000 people and currently holds the Guinness World Record of most people attendees on a card game tournament. And Salamangreat is pretty solid now. Eventually will get an Asian English structure deck, and most people will dive into the deck. And yeah, I think Salamangreat is pretty solid overall on the metagame right now. Very much supported from the Promethean on the extra deck, which gave them a lot of boost on the deck. And yeah, can play a lot of hand traps as well on the main deck. As you can see, we have Veilers, Ogres, and Imperms here, which can be very strong when going second against the meta decks right now. And yeah, it plays Kaiser Colosseum as well, very notorious card for being able to win the going first strategy of the Salamangreat. Once you set up with a Kaiser, there's not many decks that can help or destroy your board. And I think Salamangreat will have a bright spot moving forward. And next we have Duelo Iloilo, Yu-Gi-Oh! Association Ranking Tournament. Coming at first, we have Fire King Snake Eyes. So, from Spencer Jones Go. So, standard, no? Nothing too extravagant on this list. Just played the correct amount of Fire King cards with the Volcanics as well. So, Volcanics really complemented the Fire King, and it helped them to suffice their weakness or losing intangibles once they have lost the copies of Wanted and Snake Eyes Ash. So I think, yeah, this deck is still very solid on the metagame right now. And played Skill Drain on the main deck, very interesting. Once you set up with your Fire King board and Skill Drain, I think it's very commanding position to win the game from that get-go. And played Lava Golem as well. I think I could respect that because you don't really rely too much on your normal summon. So Lava Golem could make wonders for you going second. And next we have, wow, Cosmo, True Draco, what is this? What in the cookery is this? I'm lost for words. I'm processing the information that I'm seeing on this deck. So it played Cosmo with Dogmatika and Nadir package. So you draw off with your Nadir servant, pitching Garura, and you draw one, and also played Maximus. So you could dump targets on your extra deck, and Cosmo with True Draco. I'm not really sure how it meshes well, but yeah, it is what it is. You can see that Earl Andrew Camara top with this very intricate decklist of Cosmo, and I'm really surprised and flabbergasted at the same time. On the side deck, played Kaiju with the Kaiju Slumber package, and played Macro Cosmos and Anti-Spell. Very interesting choice of Floodgates. Very powerful right now in the format, especially Macro Cosmos. Next we have Dragon Link Blue Eyes Bestial. What in the world is happening on this tournament? Now we have Blue Eyes right off the bat after Cosmo. So Blue Eyes goodness. Kaiba must be proud with this player from Anthony Apelado. So yeah, this is very crazy. Played Blue Eyes engine on Dragon Link. No, we should say. I think that's the correct way to put it in our deck list here. So you played White Stone of Ancients and 2 copies of Blue Eyes, and also yeah, Blue Eyes monsters and fathers on the main deck like Alternative and Jet. So yeah, Bestials with Dragon Link, I think the end goal is the same. You combo off using the Dragon Link pieces, and Blue Eyes is just there to support your playthrough. Yeah, very spicy decklist here from Anthony. And yeah, moving on, we have another Duelo Iloilo ranking tournament. Coming at first, we have a more standard tournament here. Results from Tenpai Dragon from John Christian Bidea. So yeah, I played Shifter and Magnemute. Those cards are very powerful right now in the format. Considering that their locals have Voiceless Voice, the Magnemute will be very insane to stop the Law and Saphira on the graveyard, and Shifter as well, very solid. And yeah, I think the side deck is pretty much unconventional. Played Spellcaster of the Village with the Nirvana High Paladin and Shooting Riser. And yeah, very interesting choice on the side deck. And played Shirayuki on the side deck. Very interesting. And next, we have second place Dogmatika Voiceless Voice from Christopher Bondok. So yeah, just the usual Voiceless Voice, no? With the double sa Oravis and the Pendulum Grab, and Nadir helps you to draw cards from the Garura, and you start off your place with the Maximus. So it's just a consistency boost, and I think this is a pretty solid list from Christopher. And then moving on, we have another Iloilo tournament, the Visayas Cup Day 2 Open Tournament. We have Fire King Snake Eyes, standard decklist of Fire King, bunch of going first cards on the side deck with the Rumpeltuffle or the Black Goat Laughs. Yeah, I already forgot the name of this card, and yeah, I think TCG butchered the name of Rumpeltuffle. And yeah, Solemn Strike and Skill Drain, very oppressive cards when going first for the Snake Eyes Fire King. And next we have another Voiceless Voice. I think that's the same pilot as earlier, no? So he got the second place of Visayas Cup Open Tournament. So yeah, pretty much the same deck list. I think nothing too different from the earlier list. Next we have Tenpai from Vince Caballero. So yeah, I played only Little Knight and Hieratic Spear on the extra deck. I think he doesn't play the Promethean and the Raging Phoenix line, and even the Dual Little Chimera on the extra deck with the Hita. So a synchro oriented extra deck with the Spatter and the Rose package on the extra deck, and also played copies of Super Poly targets with Madragon and Garura, which can be very strong against the Tenpai matchup. The mirror match could be dictated by Super Poly. The ones who has access towards the Super Poly got the upper advantage on that matchup, and I could respect that because Tenpai is very much dominant in the Philippines metagame right now. And yeah, we have Rikasan Avalon from Wizard. So it played copies of Raika. Yeah, Raika on the main deck. I think I don't know what are the lines of this deck, but Raika definitely have bolstered the ceiling and consistency of this Rikas and Avalon. And look at the side deck, it played Rainbow Life, if I'm not mistaken. This is a tech card for 10 pi, no? You gain life points with the damage that you have taken. So very interesting card on the side deck, and played a bunch of floodgates, the Royal Decree and Summon Limit, Rivalry. Those are very solid options going first. And next we have Snake Eyes Illusionist from Earl Andro Camara. So maybe you set up with Snake Eyes, no? You do the usual Ash Poplar plays and you boost it with the Devil Z with the Illusionist cards on the main deck. Very interesting choice from Earl. And played Massive Restrict on the side deck. What in the world is this? Maybe this can be very good against Luandris and Voiceless Voice, no? And yeah, I think that's the tech card against those decks. Next we have Parking Snake Eyes from Spencer Go. We have Super Poly on the main deck. I think Super Poly is heavily played on this tournament because there's a lot of Voiceless Voice and 10 pi. So you could definitely win against them using Super Poly. And next we have Live Twin Unchained from Martin Graces. So yeah, Evil Twin with Unchained, I think that's the duo or the name of this deck, and it definitely boosts each other ceiling with the Live Twin having more options to play with this Fiend based deck, and also a bunch of trap cards on the side deck played evenly, the Black Goat and Skill Drain. And yeah, I think the list is very much solid considering the fact that he played a rogue deck on the tournament and got 7 plays as well. And next we have 8 plays Rescue Ace. So this is budget Rescue Ace doesn't play Sinful Spoils, and it plays Sinful Spoils with 1 Devil Star and 1 Wanted, and yeah, it doesn't play Bonfire and Poplar, no? Very interesting. Played Summon Limit on the main deck and Book of Moon, no? You can definitely count on Book of Moon when you try to dodge Imperms, Veilers, Ogres, bunch of cards that can definitely affect your Rescue Ace line of play. So yeah, props to him for topping the tournament using a budget Rescue Ace. And moving on, we have Yu-Gi-Oh! Davao Mindanao Gaming ranking tournament. We have Voiceless Voice first place. Standard decklist of Voiceless Voice, the Diviner, and Extravagant is the correct play right now on Voiceless Voice because that's the topping recipe on the YCSJ 8,000 player tournament. Imagine that. So I think that's the correct way to play Voiceless Voice right now with the Extravagance and Prosperity. You bait the Ash Blossom of your opponent and you set up your board much more efficient by that way because you bait out Ash. Very strong against Saphira and can definitely hurt your setup once you get Ash Blossom. So Extravagance definitely helps you out. And next we have Branded Despia Bestial. So wow, DNA Surgery on the side deck, very spicy, and played the Barrier, no? Very strong against 10 pi. You couldn't say that much because this card definitely stops 10 pi from getting out of control. And yeah, we have another deck. Wow, third place, Jobel Vios. We have Farking Snake Eyes. So yeah, standard build of Farking. I played 1 talent only. Nothing too fancy here. I think he just wants to have more rooms for hand traps like Veiler and yeah, Imperm on the main deck. And next we have Evo Community Guild League Season Tournament Week 5. We have Abyss Actor. Wow, Abyss Actor. Very interesting. It's been such a long time since I have saw Abyss Actor top, and yeah, this didn't failed me because it's very spicy. Played Waking of the Dragon and Epidemic Eradicator Virus on the side deck. Very strong when going first, I think, and Waking the Dragon adds a different element. Once you get Heavy Storm or Feather Duster, you can definitely set up your Raid Raptor XYZ on the extra deck. Very spicy. And next we have Kashtira. So Kashtira with a bunch of rank 7 outlets on this deck with Sinful Spoils and yeah, also triple talent. I think it's the correct way to use this talent on the main deck that didn't play rather called by and cross out. So you just use talent to answer the hand traps of your opponent. Next we have Centurion with White Forest. Yeah, with White Forest. So it's the newer version of Centurion right now. Played White Forest, which can be very strong, no? On the Centurion, really boosted the consistency of Centurion and made a lot of plays much more seamless or efficient. And yeah, I think that's the correct way to go with Centurion right now. You played White Woods or White Forest on the main deck. And yeah, next we have Cyber Dragon. So shoutouts to Cyber Dragon. This deck will eventually get a tactical try structure deck moving forward, and that could definitely help budget players and newbies, returnees, or other new players on the game to invest in the OCG with a much more competitive structure deck with a tactical try. And Cyber Dragon as a unit is kinda similar to Tenpai. You go second, you use hand traps to stop the opponent, and just go for OTK most of the time. And yeah, moving on, we have Yu-Gi-Oh! Davao Mindanao Gaming Ranking Tournament, and we have Tenpai Dragon on the first place here from Andrew Aguinaldo. So yeah, didn't play the new support. I think it's from before info. And played Ghost Mourner on the main deck. Very interesting choice. He didn't play the likes of other cards here like Heavy Storm and Feather Duster. Instead, he opted for Ghost Mourner, which can be very critical and crucial on stopping decks like Snake Eyes. And yeah, so I think it's a very interesting option right now to play as a hand trap for Tenpai. And next we have Fire King, and yeah, standard Fire King played Super Poly as well on the main deck, and copy of one Ghost Ogre, which can be very strong on Tenpai and as a cross out target as well. And on the side deck, it played I forgot the name, Sealstone, yeah, that can work like a skill drain. You stop your opponent once they have effect 2-3 times in a single turn. So yeah, could definitely work on a Fire King deck. And moving on, we have another Iloilo ranking tournament. Season 4 finale, we have, wow, what in the world is this from Earl Andro Camara. He's been cooking Iloilo tournaments since I have saw the tournament results from Iloilo for quite some time already. So this time he played Volcanic Snake Eyes. What in the world is this? So he played Obedience on the main deck and a bunch of Volcanic cards. So it doesn't play Bonfire, no? Yeah, it doesn't play Bonfire. So yeah, what in the world is this? I'm lost for words. Plays Phoenix on the extra deck, the fusion target of Fire, and yeah, play double original, and I think it's the complementary card because it doesn't play Bonfire. And yeah, I think I could see the lines because you start with your Snake Eyes and yeah, you use the Volcanic to burn the opponent, and yeah, I think that's the playthrough of this deck, and very interesting from Earl Andro Camara. And next we have Centurion Horus with a bunch of going first card on the main deck. Played Gravity Collapse, if I'm not mistaken, and Solemn Judgment on the main deck. So you use this to protect your board, of course. Centurion already have a very promising setup. Turn 1, you set up your Arcoela and sometimes your other Floodgates and yeah, your negations on this deck. And Cosmic Blazer, of course, very powerful card for Centurion. And yeah, played a bunch of hand traps on the side deck. Played Bestials and Shifter to answer the Voiceless Voice and other graveyard decks. And next we have Duel Bacolod local tournament with Fire King Mono deck from Ed Arthur Saldura. So yeah, played a bunch of hand traps on the main deck. Didn't play the Kaiser Colosseum and Skill Drain on the main deck. Instead, he opted to play Veilers and Bell, Nib, and Ogre, which in turn can definitely be more versatile when going second because the Floodgate build of this deck tends to struggle when going second. You play Skill Drain and cards like Summon Limit or Kaiser Colosseum that can be bad when going second. So yeah. And next we have the side deck, rather extra deck of this deck. So yeah, nothing too fancy, just the standard extra deck of Fire King Mono. So yeah, it sums up. Oh, we have another tournament here. We have final top 8 league season of Duelist Tepian Samarinda. We have champion here. We have Snake Eyes Fire King. So it played a bunch of gamma targets on the side deck. I think this can be very solid on the mirror match and can be solid against Voiceless Voice and Tenpai and Snake Eyes as well. And next we have Centurion. So another Centurion on the block. We have a pretty standard list of Centurion played Kaiser Colosseum. That's what I'm saying earlier. Centurion opts to play Kaiser Colosseum and other floodgates on the main deck. And on the contrary, his side deck is much more oriented with more hand traps like Nibiru and Ghost Ogre. Next we have Matmech from Hazim. So yeah, another hand trap deck with a lot of consistency cards with Small World, Synapse Mining, and yeah, you do your Cyber's plays and set up your oppressive board with the Super Factorial and you hand trap your opponent to death. So on the side deck played triple summon limit, no, very interesting. Most Matmech played Solemn Strike instead of summon limit, but I guess it could work, no? It could definitely stun the opponent. And next we have Labyrinth Unchained with Jubel. Yeah, played Jubel. So yeah, only one copy of Spirit of Jubel. I think you should definitely bump the copy of Spirit of Jubel into 2. But I could definitely understand this because it is a very expensive card right now. But I think having one copy should work, no? But I think 2 is the correct way to play this Spirit of Jubel. And yeah, played Transaction Rollback. I think is necessary for this build. And next we have Snake Eyes Diabell Star Sinful Spoils with Horus, no? So Horus, very interesting. Most decks are not playing Horus most Snake Eyes decks are not playing Horus. But once you try to play Horus on this deck, it could definitely work. Sometimes you turbo out rank 8 monsters to protect your board, like Harbinger, Photon Lord, and you use your Snake Eyes plays with Sinful Spoils. I think there's no decks can stop that momentum, no? Once you open with Horus and the Sinful Spoils and Snake Eyes, I think there's not many decks that can stop that. And as I can see, this is a more good stuff kind of deck because it play only one Poplar and double Diabell Z and the Synchron on the main deck. So yeah, very intricate build from Fadli. And next we have Jubel Unchained. So I think Jubel Unchained is a wise option right now to play on the format. Jubel is very solid on Unchained. You have extra pseudo Omni Negate if you put it that way from the Spirit of Jubel. And Unchained also has a very solid board with the Unchained monsters and yeah, the Valdrat as well. Very promising on the board of Jubel as well. And next we have Voiceless Voice. So played Artemis Slay on the side deck. It's a very uncommon option to play right now because most people are playing Lightning Storm or Hand Traps in place of Artemis Slay. But you have targets on your extra deck like NTs, so why not play this card, no? It could definitely have sense on it. And next we have Managium, Visa Starfrost. And yeah, standard build of Visas. Played Nemesis package on the deck, which can definitely lock out Fire Nation with the Protoss. Very solid. And yeah, that sums up our report of Uncrowned Kings, the Almatic report from April 28 to April 30. So once again, thank you for watching this video. If you have time, you can visit our Facebook page and drop a like on this and follow it as well. So once again, thank you for watching. See you on the next one. Peace.